Howdy folks, and welcome back to another Britgrid intermediate Blender class. And today, because I know some of the learners have been struggling a little bit with some recent material we've covered, I thought I'd just go over that kind of slowly and carefully so that you can understand it. So today we're going to be using the Array Modifier along with using an empty to create a set of petals that are rotated around the empty. So let's start on that. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long for us to do. Now I'm going to be using our default cube here, and I actually only need the top face of the default cube. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to select the top face. I'm then going to go to the select menu and select the inverse, which is selecting everything apart from what I've got selected at the moment. So we can go to invert. You can see that the top face isn't selected now, and I can just press the delete key and say we want to delete faces. So now we've just got our top face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just turning on my widget there, and I'm just going to the side view. I'm just going to move it down so it's on the same plane, and I'm going to be using the x-axis here, so I'm just using the widget to drag it out to the x-axis, and I'm going to scale that on the y-axis. So I'm going to press S, and then I'm going to press the Y key, and I'm just going to scale that down so it's a little bit thinner, so it's more like some petals, more like the shape of some petals. Now I'm going to go into edge select mode. I'm just going to select that edge, and I'm going to go Shift and R with my cursor. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I've selected the wrong thing. Hold on. Maybe it's Control R. Control R. Let's try that. That's more like it. To get some loop cuts in there. Just going to press X to accept that. I still need to scale it a little bit actually, because I want it to be thin at the ends. So I'm going to press A. I'm going to go scale on the y-axis. So I'm going to scale it way down to make it a bit thinner. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into you could use edge select mode. I'm going to select those two edges because I need to fatten the petal up now. Then I'm going to turn on proportional editing at the top here, and I'm going to set it to, I think I'll probably set it to maybe sphere, and here I'm going to set to active element. No, I'm not. I'm going to set to medium point, and I'm going to press the G key, and you can see that that's my kind of, the G key allows you to grab things. Because we're in full proportional editing mode, that shows me my sphere of influence, what it would affect. So let's try that. So I'm going to press G, and I'm going to tell it to scale, and we want to do that on the y-axis again. So I'm going to press Y, and then I'm going to pull out the petal a little bit, just make it a little bit rounder, and we might, well, let's turn off proportional editing. So I'm going to do Control R again. I'm going to put a loop cut down the middle, select enter. Okay, that's great. Now before we go any further, I'm just going to move that in a little bit to the center, and I'm going to go to object mode because I want to apply the transformations and the scale that we've been changing. If we look up here and we go to item. Actually, we can see that our scale and the dimensions look okay at the moment, but I'm still going to go to object mode, and I am still going to apply all transformations. Great, okay. So I'm going to press A to deselect everything a few times, and now we want to add in our empty. Let me get rid of that horrible join areas. We'll just join that area. So now we want to add in our empty. We're in object mode, nothing's selected, which is good. So we say add, and we just need to find our empty plain axes. That's fine, and it'll add it at the kind of 0 cursor position. So now we need to reselect our petal, and we need to go to the Array Modifier, and we need to, or add the modifier stack, and add in an Array Modifier. And you can see that it duplicates the mesh along the x-axis. We don't actually want it to do that, so we want to use the object offset. So we are clicking the object offset, take the relative offset off, and we can click in the box and choose the empty to rotate around. And I'm just going to increase my count here to 24, because I happen to know that that's about what we need. And in fact, using a count of 24, each one of these petals will be offset around the empty by 15 degrees. So we can select the empty, we can press the R key to rotate it, and we only want to rotate it on the Z axis, so then we'll press Z. Now I'm going to press down on my control key, keep it pressed, and just move the empty so it duplicates and then kind of snaps into place. And hopefully, if we've done that right, we should have our 24 petals. So let's go back to select our daisy. We can go to edit mode, and you can see we've got our petal nicely arranged on the y-axis, sorry, on the x-axis. If you haven't, you can go up to the top here. You can select the 3D cursor as being the pivot point, and you can press R and Z for rotate on the Z direction, and you can move the petal around to wherever you want it. I think the best place is to have it running along the x-axis like it is there. Right, so let's bend the petal into shape a little bit more. So we'll select our vertices. I'm just going to select this set of end vertices and turn on proportional editing again. And if you can't see the selection box when you press G, which I can't, then you can go up to here and choose active element, I would imagine, or individual origins. Let's try individual origins. So that's now showing me that it's honouring the selection that we've got here. So I can press my G key, and you can see that's my sphere of influence for the proportional editing. So I'm just going to use my mouse wheel to broaden that out a little bit. So we want to affect all of the petals, all of the, more or less all of the vertices. So I'm just going to press, well, I'm not going to press anything actually, we'll use the widget tool. So I'm just going to grab the blue Z-axis, and I can just tweak that up. It's not a great shape. So if you find it's not great, you can control Z it. Maybe we'll try a different, maybe we'll try smooth. Let's see what smooth gives us. Smooth's better. So control Z. I'm just gonna take that influence down a little bit. That's not too bad, it's kind of getting there. And we may need to just select individual vertices, just see how the curve of the petals go in. We might want to, I'm just using shift and click to select these, so maybe we'll need to move these up a little bit more, and then maybe this one a little bit more, and then maybe this one, and then maybe the last one. And you can mess around with this a little bit, just getting it to your liking until you've got something that looks about right. And as I say, you know, you can make your petals as kind of closed up or as open as you like, or maybe do some variations. What I will do is I will just select everything once you're happy with it, and I'll go to face and say shade smooth, just makes it look a little bit better. And then we just need to apply the array, so we can click on one of these boxes, I believe, can't remember which one it is. Oh, the apply button. We need to do that in object mode, so just go to object mode, click on apply. Then we can always go back to edit mode. You can see we've got a bit of extra geometry there, which is less than ideal. We could use kind of merge to merge those vertices. We could try that, couldn't we? So let's do mesh, merge by distance, and if we go down to our box here, we can mess around with our merge distance. Not looking great there. It's looking a little bit better. It's cleaned it up a little bit. Yep, so I'm probably happy with that. The extra geometry isn't really going to worry us too much. Anyway, so I hope you might have found that helpful, and I hope it might have cleared up any little issues you were getting with it. So thanks for coming along, thanks for watching. Keep your eye on the Britgrid Intermediate Blender channel for any updates and such like, and hopefully I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.